Good morning, Co-Chairman, His Excellency Mr. Kachijama Horishi, Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry of Japan, and Professor Hidetoshi Nishimura, President of the Economic Research Institute for ASEAN and East Asia, Ministers and Deputy Ministers of ASEAN and Australia, Secretary of Energy of the United States of America, members of Asia CCUS Network, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today I am delighted to participate with you all, and I would like to thank both MITI and AREA for inviting me to deliver my remarks at this important first forum of Asia CCUS Network. Let me express my wholehearted congratulations to MITI, AREA and the governments of ASEAN, the USA and Australia for the establishment of the Asia CCUS Network. I also would like to praise MITI and AREA for their hard works and efforts to make this event happen. I also would like to thank both organizations for the invitation to allow officials and entities to be the members of the network. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Chairman, for this forum, it is an honor for me to get the opportunity to inform you and all participants about the works that my country and government have been implementing in relation to CCUS. Before going into detail, let me share with you on my understanding of CCUS, which different people may have different say about it. My understanding of it comes from the Research Coordination Network or ASEAN on CCUS. ASEAN says that CCUS are methods and technologies to remove CO2 from the fuel gas and from the atmosphere, then followed by recycling the CO2 for utilization and determining safe and permanent storage options. With this understanding, I can simply put CCUS methods into options. One of the methods of using CCUS technologies, which Asia CCUS Network has planned to explore and promote them to commercialize stage in the regions, and the other methods use nature to work out its own way, just as using forests to absorb CO2. Laos has been implementing the latter for a long time, and as it fits well to her economic, social and environmental conditions. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2015, the forest coverage in Laos was about 49% of its total area of 236,800 square kilometers. Since then, our government, businesses and people have been implementing the policy to increase that coverage to 70% by 2025. Our main activities, for example, are: 1. Tree plantation events are organized across the country annually on the 1st of June, which is the National Tree Plantation Day. Second, businesses are mandated to be responsible for the implementation and protection of the new forests to be set off those impacted by their business activities. Third, hydropower plants owners are mandated to be responsible for the enrichment, development, and protection of their watersheds. Fourth, the government promotes investment in forest product protection business, such ecotourism, sustainable commercial trees plantation, and more. These activities, I believe, have made Laos a carbon neutral country, and according to the Our World in Data.org, Laos produced about 32 million tons of CO2 in 2019, and according to the webpage of carbonparade.com, an acre of forest can absorb the CO2 about approximately 2,500 kilograms per year. When calculated and converted, Lao Forest in 2015, which has the size of about 116,000 square kilometers or around 26 million acres, can absorb approximately 71 million tons of CO2 annually. So Laos can absorb all CO2 that she produces and still has the excess capacity to help the atmosphere. Chairman, distinguished guests, I am not trying to convince you that Lao method of CCUS is the best and fit to all. What I am really trying to share with you in today's forum is that when considering of applying CCUS, we have to identify the one or even the combination of the methods which fit our conditions. Most importantly, they have to be realistic, economic, and sustainable. And of course, when implementing them, they have to produce results close to what they are designed for, and they also can offset the costs effectively. In addition, I would like to propose that our network should plan to explore and research of different methods of CCUS. I do support the technologies method as it promotes and creates innovations, jobs, and business opportunity, environmental protection, and economic growth. However, I also think that we should not forget that it is still necessary to apply the natural methods in parallel with the development of the technologies in order to maintain the momentum of global decarbonization and the Paris Agreement, to which zero carbon solutions could be competitive in sectors representing 70% of global emissions by 2030. We welcome all investors, businesses, and initiatives for cooperation and development of CCUS. I urge the upcoming plans of the networks should also explore the opportunity of carbon trade and carbon offset with industries or countries which are carbon surplus. That brings me to the end part of my remarks. I sincerely praise MITI, area, government of ASEAN, Australia, and the US for the achievement in the establishment of the Asia CCUS network. Once again, I would like to thank MITI and area for their wonderful organization of this forum. I wish the Asia CCUS network, its members and partners, a big success in achievement of the goals of the network. I wish the chairmen and all participants a huge success of your careers and safe from COVID-19. Thank you very much.